Air Canada passengers faced extended delays at Ottawa International Airport on Sunday, August 17, 2025, as striking flight attendants defied an order from a government-backed labor board to return to work. Jenny Phelps, one of the hundreds of thousands of passengers who have had to remain in Canada, stranded at the airport, expressed her frustration and anxiety.
It's super stressful, of course, and very expensive, having to stay 3 extra nights in a hotel than we were planning on. Obviously, we know in the big scheme of things, it's not the hugest problem in the world, and we do support what the flight attendants are trying to achieve, but it's very stressful nonetheless. We've been trying to get through on the phone to Air Canada to try and rebook our flights, been looking online, there's nothing available, we can't get through on the phone, and so I just decided to come down here to the airport to see if I could talk to an agent and get something booked.
Probably felt better, but what can you do? It's just bad timing, bad luck, so just got to get on with it.
Air Canada flight attendants continued their strike on Sunday, August 17th, after the deadline passed on an order from the government-backed labor board for them to return to work, forcing the country's largest airline to delay the resumption of its operations. Outside Vancouver International Airport, striking flight attendants chanted, "What do we want? Fair pay. When do we want it? Now." The Canadian Union of Public Employees said in a statement that its members would continue their strike and invited Air Canada back to the bargaining table to negotiate a fair agreement, calling the order to end the strike unconstitutional.
We're so motivated by the anger that we have of all the things that have happened through this process. We've had from the government getting involved to when we do have a hearing with the government, the person that was hearing the case was somebody that has a clear conflict of interest with Air Canada. Through the whole process, we felt that the employer was not in good faith, came to the bargaining table simply to check a box and buy some time. So at this point, having the support of everybody around us really motivates us, but our motivation comes from the anger of everything that's being taken away from us, and we're done giving it up.
Henley Lardon, an Air Canada flight attendant and vice president of CUPE 4094, said, "Flight attendants who operate their aircraft are the heart, soul, and foundation of their operation."
Thank you for directing your frustration and anger and incredible disappointment at Air Canada. It is important that we prioritize the corporate facade as failing us as a collective whole. Flight attendants who operate their aircraft are the heart, soul, and face of their operations. We want to thank those of you that have come out to support today physically and continue to utilize your media platforms to share this incredible failure of the Canadian government. It is truly a tragic injustice to us all.
On Saturday, August 16, 2025, the Liberal government of Prime Minister Mark Carney moved to end the strike of more than 10,000 flight attendants by asking the Canada Industrial Relations Board to order binding arbitration. The CIRB issued the order, which Air Canada desired, and which the unionized flight attendants have defied.
Well, I have a message for the Prime Minister. This is bigger than CUPE. This is bigger than Unifor. You've picked a fight with all the workers in Canada. We're not going to put up with it, and we're going to rise and we're going to fight back. We're going to stand up and we're going to fight back. This is completely unjust, and we're not putting up with it.
It was too quick. It didn't allow any pressure onto the employer to truly have to come back to the table to bargain. We went on strike to pressure the company to come back to the table to seriously address the issues that are there, and that didn't happen because they got involved.
They're in support here today because they're seeing our rights being eroded, and they're seeing that the government is getting involved to make it a way that, unfortunately, we won't be able to negotiate at the table. They're giving employers a tool that really doesn't give them any incentive to actually really freely negotiate with the unions. And the only tool that we actually have is the right to strike, withhold our labor, and that's being taken away from us.
The Canada Labour Code gives the government the power to ask the CIRB to impose binding arbitration in the interest of protecting the economy. However, this action has left the flight attendants deeply outraged at their government.
We are one of the largest unions in the federal sector, and this basically means the government is taking away the right to strike, and we're simply not going to accept it, not now, not ever, and not in the future either.
The government's options to end the strike now include asking a court to enforce the back-to-work order and seeking an expedited hearing. The minority government could also try to pass legislation that would need the support of political rivals and be approved by both houses of parliament, which are on break until September 15th. The government did not respond to a request for comment. CUPE has pushed for a negotiated settlement, saying that binding arbitration would ease the pressure on the airline. Air Canada said on August 17, 2025, that the CIRB had ordered an extension of the terms of the collective agreement between the union and the airline, which expired on March 31, 2025, until a new agreement can be reached.
We are going to continue forward, and with the public's backing, go on without faltering. Together we are 10,000, together we are strong. No longer are we 10,000, we are Canada-wide, and this is all of us. No longer can we be expected to follow through with the status quo without seeing it all the way to the end, and that demands Air Canada's respect. You are just that, a representation of Canada and its citizens, and step up to the plate and deal with this before it goes on for too long. And the public, let me be clear, is behind us.
With no flights available until midweek, thousands remain in limbo as the Canadian Union of Public Employees calls the order unconstitutional and urges Air Canada to return to the bargaining table. The airline now expects operations to resume on Monday evening, August 18, 2025.